There are so many stories about animals getting lost and coming home that there is not enough time to tell them all. But how do they do it? I want to thank our viewers who watched our original Lost Pets video, share your stories, and ask for part 2. I hope everyone likes this video as well. Subscribe and keep sharing your stories in the comments. If you find Ned, let us know in the comments below. The lost custody. Unfortunately, there are some custody battles we may lose. In this case, Ginger the Basset Hound was taken by Jamie's ex-wife after their divorce in 2003. Jamie lost contact with his beloved pet for 10 years, until one day, while looking at the online description of the surrendered pets at the local Humane Society of Boston. Even without a picture, he recognized Ginger. Needless to say, Jamie was worried Ginger will not remember him. But he needed not to worry. Ginger, now 13, came over to him and both picked up right where they left. This time, nothing will separate them ever again. Kitty's 9 Lives, The Mistaken Identity. When walking on a mall, you see people who look like a friend, later to realize they were someone else. They just look very familiar. Alfie was a case of mistaken identity. One day, Alfie escaped, and on the same day, a kitty was found on the side of a road. Alfie's family buried their little friend, or so they thought. After the incident, the family moved away but kept in touch with the neighbors. Almost a year after the incident, the neighbor called, telling the unlikely story of a cat trying to break into their old house. After being captured, it was taken to the vet, who confirmed that the intruder was indeed Alfie, thanks to a microchip. But who was the buried kitty? A social media success. Besides connecting with family, social media has been successful at helping us find more than friends. The story of Abby is a great example. During a winter snowstorm in Alaska, a blind dog named Abby found her way to a home that was not hers. The lucky girl was found uninjured by Mark. She had no microchips, no tags, nothing that will help identify who she belonged to. Mark had to get very creative if he wanted Abby back at home on time for Christmas. Mark used social media. He posted her pictures in the Lost Pets local Facebook groups, shared with his friends, and even connected with animal shelters and nearby rescues, sharing all her information. Finally, all his hard work paid off, and Abby was back safely at home. That was truly a Merry Christmas. No horsing around. After the fire incidents that destroyed Northern California in 2017, the Tamayo family was unable to escape and set their 2 horses free, hoping they will survive. With the horses now gone, rescue finally came and airlifted the family to safety. Worried about their horses, Loli and Sammy, the Tamayo family feared the worst. Finally, the Tamayo family was able to return home a couple of days later. That's when Loli and Sammy made an appearance. Both not only survived the raging fires, but made it unscathed all the way back home. The Traveling Cat. Here is the story of a kitty named Kushia. In 2004, him and his family were summer vacationing in Eastern Europe when the cat got frightened by something and ran away. Unable to find him after searching for him for weeks, the family came back home without their furry friend and with all their hopes lost. One day, 3 months later, Kushia showed up at their front door. The kitty traveled some 1,000 miles across Siberia to cuddle with his favorite people. The chip that saved the day. Nika, the fox terrier, was exploring her backyard and got out through a small crack on the fence in New Bern, New York. At 6 months of age, her owners were concerned she will not know how to come back. Flyers, phone calls to the local shelter, and the earth was turned looking for their beloved Nika. Unfortunately, nothing worked. 1 year later, Nika was a fond memory of the past, but a phone call changed their lives. Nika was found and identified by the animal shelter in Ocala, Florida. That's 1,090 miles away. The microchip implanted gave the shelter workers all they needed to bring the family back together. Down the rabbit hole. What do most dogs do when a doorbell rings? Yep, bark. Thank goodness this little border terrier named Henry did it too. While running across a field in Perthbury, Britain, the unfortunate pup fell into a rabbit hole. The fire rescue was called to save Henry, but they could not find him even with a snake eye camera. A clever idea emerged from worry. Moments later, a speaker was placed near the hole and the sound of a doorbell started playing. Triggered by the bell, Henry started barking, making it much easier for the rescue to dig him out. Kitty come home. If you have a pet, you may have done this. Open the door to a room, go inside, close the door behind you when done, later to find your pet had followed you like a little ninja and got locked inside. That actually did happen to me with Putty Tad, the foster cat from the part 1 of this video series. Something like this did happen to Crockett, but it was not a room that trapped him, but a sofa. The incident occurred while the family was donating a sofa that had to be taken apart before mounting it to the truck. Once the movers left, the family found the cat was missing. 4 days later, the new owners of the sofa heard a faint meow coming from inside. You guessed it, Crockett had gotten stuck inside the sofa that had to be destroyed so he will be reunited with his owners. Wild navigation. There have been many studies of animals migrating and how they do it. It was reported that seabirds travel mostly by observing the sun and the stars and will more likely get lost during a cloudy sky. A more unique research involved dung beetles inside a planetarium. The beetles will find their way back unless the fake stars changed. Without observing the skies, baby sea turtles use the Earth's electromagnetic field to navigate after hatching. Beagle Warrior. Have you ever had the pleasure of meeting a neighborhood dog who is loved by the entire community? Dusty Simon is that dog. Unlike some of the luckier animals mentioned earlier, this beloved staple in the subdivision went missing without a trace. The entire community went looking for him to no avail. After weeks of searching, no clues were found until one afternoon, one of the neighbors saw him laying in her front yard. He had suffered serious injuries to his back legs and had fractured his pelvis. The vet thought Dusty probably got hit by a car and dragged himself several miles using only his front legs. The medical expenses were very high, but the entire community loved him and together paid for his surgeries and care. Dusty Simon made a full recovery. If there is no social media or a microchip to help out pets return home, how do pets make it back? Apparently, dogs use their sense of smell to recognize places, basically trailing back to familiar scents, like that of its owners, and recognizing its way back home. But cats seem to hone more differently. Like the sea turtles, they may rely more on the electromagnetic field. It was discovered that the ears in many mammals contain iron that cues them into the right direction towards home. But don't rely on your pet's abilities to come back. As mentioned in a couple of the stories, many pets were successfully reunited because of their human-pet bond. But microchips with current information as well as name tags are a must. Minimum name tags. Ask your local shelter or non-profit organizations for affordable microchips. If you have a pet, you will be happy you did it. Remember to click the bell icon after you subscribe so you can get instant notifications of all our new videos. Lost Pets Discovered. Thanks again for watching!